Finding ways to save money while still enjoying our life can sometimes be strategic, and sometimes it can just be common sense. Today, we're going to talk about some of the ways that we can do both easily, and I hope you will stick around. You caught me. I love that intro music. It reminds me of my dad. He used to play the banjo and the guitar, and that's one of the reasons I chose that tune. But today we're going to talk about how to save money strategically and with common sense. I think those are two of the top ways to save money if we really need to save money. So there's so many common sense ways, and a lot of times we just don't think about them. We think saving money should be hard, and a lot of times the common sense ways are just easy and we just overlook them. Things like using up what is thawed or opened first that we already have in our fridge, that should be common sense, but for some reason we still end up throwing out food when that is a super easy way to save money. I buy things on clearance and on sale, and I try to make sure that I use them up in recipes before they go bad. Oh, here's Fluff. He wants to say hi. Today, I'm going to show you some of the shopping that I did and some recipes that I did and some other things I did just to save money that was common sense and I guess a little strategic.
We talked about reviving foods that we thought had gone stale or were past their prime in one of my last videos, and I'm doing that again today with granola. I am just re-toasting it and putting it in an airtight container. I normally don't buy this, but I bought it on clearance, and so it is now starting to go just a little bit stale, and toasting it just made it like it was brand new and perfect again. In fact, I think it was better than when I bought it. Some of the meals this week is just good old-fashioned potato soup. I cut up some potatoes because I bought a bunch on sale. I boiled them in some water. I left the water and added plant cream because I had some of that needed used up. I added green onions from the garden, parsley, pepper, and I also added about 2 tablespoons of chicken base. I think you call it chicken bouillon. And then I added some sour cream and just a little bit of cheese. My sour cream was past the date. It had not been opened and it was still good. So I got some things used up this week and I have some great poor man comfort food. I made a small little run to Dollar General today to use my $5 off of $25 purchase coupon. I got 2 pounds of yellow cornmeal for $1.65. I didn't think that was too bad. I got a 24-pack of Louisiana family-sized tea bags for $2.45. That's pretty comparable to our national chain discount store that I won't mention. You have to be really careful when you pick these up. I picked one up the other day in the grocery store and it was quart size. So make sure it says family size or you are not getting as much tea as you thought. I picked up a couple of birthday cards for a grandson and a son. I still mail out birthday cards with some money in it for birthdays, and that's something that I've carried over. It's been a family tradition since my grandparents were alive. And I know when I was raising small children and stuff, that extra birthday money came in handy for bills and for food. So I still do that. I got a package of manila envelopes. I needed some of those. Those were $1.25. I got a steno pad for $1. I really like these to take notes in. I'm kind of spoiled, I guess. I do use notebooks as well, but I am on my last steno pad, so I picked up one of those. They still have rubbing alcohol there for $1, so I picked up one of those. I picked up a scrub brush for the bathroom, for the shower stall, for $1. I'm going to try this medium salsa. We haven't tried it before. My husband likes to put salsa in his scramble that he makes for breakfast. This was $2.75. Salsa has really gone up. And these two products here, you normally don't see me buy any type of products for cleaning. I usually use vinegar and water, but I haven't purchased these in over 4 years. And I bought a coupons for them to get some cash back, and they were on sale. So I went ahead and picked up a large bottle of scrubbing bubbles for the bathroom stall and some Shout for our stain removal here with the laundry room. And I also had a 50-cent rebate on Ibotta for the birthday cards, and they were only $1 each. So these are still some good deals that we can pick up at Dollar General, even though Dollar Tree has gotten expensive and their cards are going to be like $1.25 each. I remember when these used to be two for $1, and now they're $1 each. But yeah, that's what I picked up today at Dollar General.
A lot of times, saving money is just about making better choices to use what we already have, use up what we have, buy what's on sale, figure out what to make from that. It isn't always a hard thing to do. It just takes a little bit of effort to check those coupons and those apps, look at those sales ads before you go, make sure your list is in really good shape, and then try to stick to that list unless you see some good clearance items. That makes it a lot easier to come home and not spend more money than you planned on spending. And that's how we do our menus around here is I buy things on sale and then I look to see what I have. Potato soup sounded good to me. It's been really hot, but this week it's supposed to be a little rainy, so I thought that would fit really well with the weather, and I had a bunch of potatoes that needed used. And you know what? There are no hard and fast rules about serving soup in the summer or serving chili in the summer. We can do whatever makes sense with our budget and with the food that we have on hand or the food that's on sale. Some of the best common sense ways in spending our money is by making informed decisions, researching products before we buy them, looking at our spending habits and seeing where our weak spots might be. And a lot of that goes with tracking our spending because sometimes we don't know where our weak spots are unless we do a little tracking of the money. And sometimes we do know where they're at, we just really don't want to know how bad we're going off the rails by tracking our spending. So it can really show you a lot. You don't have to show that tracking to anyone. That's just between you and your budget. And it's a tool to help you know where you can pull back on the reins. We just want to make sure that we can afford what we are spending and that we're making good decisions about how to spend our money because that in the end gives us more money to spend freely. And that extra discretionary money is what helps us make better decisions when we're using it on things that we want to spend it on. And that can be a real motivator. So look where your money is kind of being fast and loose, and then figure out where you really want it to go. And you'll be able to focus that money where you want it to go and actually have something to show for it at the end, whether it's a vacation or a weekend getaway or just having some extra money in your checking account. So when you look at it, it gives you some peace of mind. Saving money is all about doing what makes sense with our lifestyle. Sometimes we look at what we think is normal. My son and I just had this conversation about teenagers and what they think is normal versus what is really normal. So many things have gotten blown out of proportion on what is considered normal these days. If you look at what I considered normal growing up, I considered playing with paper dolls normal and making mud pies normal. Those were things that I did growing up that didn't cost anything, but they were things that I did that were free and entertaining. And as adults, we still have to kind of go along with that same type of mindset. What do we want to do in our day that is free and entertaining? Maybe sit down and make a list of what your perfect day would look like and what things you enjoy. And then pick those things off that list that are free. And it's an easy way to save money. None of the things that I talked about today, I think, are difficult. And I always say saving money doesn't have to be hard. We're the ones that make it hard. And if we just take like some planning and some strategies and some common sense, we can get to where we want to be. The difference between our dreams and our reality is the action that we take. And if we look at it like that, it's not going to be that hard to get where we want to go if where we want to go is reasonable and we actually take action to get there. We were given the ability to be thinking, processing, smart people. And a lot of times we don't use half of the God given gifts that we were given to problem solve ourselves out of situations. I have found over my life that a lot of things I can problem solve myself out of if I just take a second and think it through. It's really easy to just go out and buy something else because you don't know what you have in your house, whether it's in your bathroom cabinet, under your sink, in your pantry, in that closet. That's the easy way out. And a lot of times, that convenience of just going and buying something because we know where it's at in the grocery store is the reason why we end up spending too much money. If we just put a little bit more work into it and figure out what we already have or what we can do with what we already have, we can save a lot of money and not waste a lot of money by letting some things we forgot about just sit there. And that is the difference between being problem solving and just reacting. And if we can just take a moment and try to problem solve the situation rather than just using our pocketbook to do the convenience way of solving the problem, we would all be in financially better shape and we would all have a lot more choices in our lives. That's how I try to look at it. Now that I'm retired, I always try to take that problem solving route because that's the way that it's going to benefit me the most so that I don't have to go back to work and I can make my money last and still do the things I want to do. I hope this video has been entertaining and helpful. And if you have any suggestions in the comments below of common sense things that you do or strategies you use or planning that you do to help yourself save money so that you have money for the things that you want, please share them with the rest of the community. We love reading the comments and talking to each other. Thanks for listening today. I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll see you soon.